Hey everybody, welcome back to the Armed Scotsman. Today on the table we have a very cool firearm. This is a Daniel Defense DD4 RIII. Let's get this one going. Alright folks, as I said, this is the Daniel Defense DD4 RIII. It is a very, very nice rifle. So yeah, let's just dive on in and get started. We're going to jump to the back right away. We have obviously a Daniel Defense buttstock on here. I like these buttstocks. I obviously have my preference with the B5 SOP mods or the LMT stocks, but these are definitely no slouch. They are very nice. It does come with a rubber butt pad on the back, and it does come with an extra one if you want a little bit more padding for whatever reason. You can do that. Has your OG sling attachments, has your QD sling attachments. Obviously it's adjustable as I was doing it before. Comes with these kind of rubber pads right here. It's kind of a nice texture on your cheek. So it's a nice buttstock. I do like it. I am a fan, and it's very minimalistic down here where it's not like the lever doesn't really stick out, so kind of less of a snagging scenario. So then you come down to a mil-spec buffer tube, and then down to the castle nut, and it has been staked once. The staking is actually not super great. Needs to be done a little better on that staking. Now moving to the top, I was shooting a Vortex PST Gen 2, 1 and 6. We'll take this off for now. It's a Viper PST 1 and 6. Has a worn skeletonized QD mount on here. And if you've seen the last couple of videos I've released, I've been really putting this through its paces. And I'm still a huge fan of this. For the money, it's just a fantastic deal. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. Upper and low receiver, 7075 T6 aluminum, brass deflector, forward assist, your dust cover. Control close. This is where it well, we'll come to the lower in just a second actually. On the top here of the receiver, you obviously have 1913 pick rail, and it's actually T-marked all the way along to the top here. Very nice indeed. It does come with the ambi charging handle, and it can be actuated from either side or both, whatever you would like. So big fan of ambi charging handles, do like that also. Okay, so let's move down to the lower. This lower is completely ambidextrous, which I am a big fan of. I know some people are like, well, I don't see the point, and that's fine. But I think just the functionality of just being able to manipulate the controls with my firing hand, putting my index finger on here, and being able to lock that bolt back and release it. I don't want to slam forward without having to take my hand off the gun. I think it's pretty cool. So I can, instead of having to pull this back and then press it here and lock it back and things, it's just so much easier. So I do like that bolt catch and release on this side. Very nice. It does have an ambi safety. The safety lever on this side is a little long for me. I do find it a little uncomfortable, especially if if I take my finger off the trigger and I'm resting it up here, kind of rubs in my hand. I would have liked to, personally, I would have liked to see that either beveled, kind of cut out for a finger, or maybe just a little shorter. Again, that's just a personal quirk. You might not worry about it and bother about it, but it just kind of rubs me a little bit. All right, moving down, you do have the Daniel Defense grip, and if you've worked with Daniel Defense guns before, you'll know that this is all one piece, and it comes down and it's actually part of the trigger guard. You can change this grip out, but you'll need to buy separately a trigger guard. So this is all one piece. As say, if you take that off, you have to take out your pin here, take that off, put your new grip on, and then put in a trigger guard. I actually really like the grip. I think the grip angle's changed a little bit from previous versions that I've shot, not of this model, but it feels more of a steeper angle, so it feels really good in hand. It's got most of it's polymer overmold, which I like. It does have a little storage compartment at the bottom, and it's got a little finger groove, so I do actually really like that grip. I wouldn't personally look to change it out, but that's just me. All right, let's check out the trigger. We have a single stage trigger, so there's literally no take up. Clean audible brake, and the reset. Little thunk there. It's not a bad trigger. It's not going to win any awards, but it's a decent trigger. I guess I'm a bit of a Geisley snob when it comes to triggers. I really like their SSAE triggers, but this is a single stage, decent trigger, as I said. And then you have obviously just the standard flared out mag well right there. The upper and lower receiver are very nice on this. The paddles on, sorry, I should have gone on this side. So you have your other safety right here, obviously. You have your bolt catch here, and it's kind of a larger paddle, which is kind of nice, easier to manipulate. And then you have your mag release on this side. Also, as I said, it is completely ambi, so left and right-handed shooters rejoice. But I'm a big fan of these completely ambi lures. They're very nice indeed. It does come with a standard magazine if your state allows it also. So let's do the wiggle test between the upper and lower receiver. Just to be clear, it doesn't affect functionality in any kind of way. It's just something that I like to do to check out, see how those tolerances are. But again, it will not affect your gun, so don't worry if you've got a little bit of wiggle in there, it's fine. Yeah, there's a little bit of play in there, but very minimal. All right, let's move up to this I love this handguard. I think it's beautiful. This is a Daniel Defense handguard. It is the RIII or something like that. It's very, very cool. I like how it integrates with the upper receiver here. There's 6 screws that goes all the way around here. That handguard is not going to rotate on you. That is for sure. So I do like that. Definitely not going to rotate. And then you'll notice that we have these M-lock slots pretty much the whole way around, which I do like to see. And then you have QD sling attachments on either side. Now this is actually a 2-piece handguard, and it was designed for the military, SOCOM I believe, something like that. Where this bottom panel can actually come out. So it's designed to be able to take a grenade launcher, which obviously we're not going to have access to, but that's the design of it. And I'll run some closer images so you can see. But yeah, it's a 2-piece handguard is what we have on here. Now underneath the handguard we have a mid-length gas system, which is my favorite. And then you have a 16-inch barrel on this one. You do have some shorter options. I think there's a 14.5 pin and welded, and I think they have an SBR version also, I believe. And they do have different colors as well. This one's just straight black, but they have that kind of, I don't know, chocolate color, I don't know, brown color, FDE, coyote brown, I don't know. They have kind of a brown color also with this gun. But yeah, back to the barrel. So 16-inch. It is a cold hammer forged barrel. It's a 1-in-7 twist. It's chrome lined. It's everything you want to hear in a barrel. Very, very nice indeed. And then you have a 1/2x28 thread pitch with a basically an A2 bird cage up the front right here. So before I open down, look at the bolt carrier grip. The overall outside of this gun, as you would expect from Daniel Defense, is very, very, very nice. I do like it a lot. I think that this rail is absolutely gorgeous too. I really like the rail, love the full ambi controls. As I say, nitpicking, maybe shorter safety on this side, and I kind of like a better trigger, but maybe that's just me. But yeah, beautiful. Fit and finish is excellent. Very, very nice. All right, so take it down. Obviously, just take your back pin out. We're just going to take a quick look. It does come with a standard buffer system when a H buffer is in there. Let's take out, it's your charging handle, your ambi charging handle. And then you have your bolt carrier grip. Let's look at the staking. Staking looks good in there. No problems with that. Everything looks good. It is chrome lined. I'll roll some images in. And yeah, everything looks good with the bolt carrier grip. All right, so let's talk about shooting it. Shooting, no problems whatsoever. I'm about 300 rounds through it. Now, if you're noticing, there's a little bit of weirdness here. I was shooting, I got the barrel pretty hot. and I didn't let it cool down enough before I put it back into its gun case, and I had the paperwork in there and it melted on my barrel. Not the first time I've done it, and I'm sure it will not be the last time that I do something stupid like that, but that's, if you're seeing, wondering what that is, that's what that is. Okay, so shooting it, 300 rounds, no problems whatsoever, very nice, pretty smooth shooting. Nothing really more to say about that. I mean, it's a Dino Defense, it just runs. So I have been doing some accuracy testing into my videos now, so I have some footage, or excuse me, I have some targets here where I did some accuracy testing. So I'm going to change the camera angle around. We'll have a look down nice and close at these targets and see how the accuracy is. All right, so let's take a look at some of these. Now, before I start, obviously, just bear in mind, it depends on the shooter, and you've got me. I'm not a terrible shooter, but I'm not the best. I know there's better out there than me. I have no doubt about that. It's going to depend on the ammo that you use. You know, the rifle that you use might not like certain ammo, might prefer others, things like that. So just bear in mind, there's some things to bear in mind here. One of the things I think would have helped a lot is if I had a 2-stage trigger in the Dino Defense, other than that single stage, yeah, maybe I'm just making excuses, but anyway, let's take a look at this. So this is PMC 55 grain. This was at 50 yards, these 5 here. Where is my tape measure? All right, so this 50 yards, max distance there is 2 and maybe a quarter. That is an inch, that is an inch. It's about an inch, but the widest is about 2 1/4. And then we've gone out to 100 yards here. I did shoot 5 shots. I don't know where they all went, but I did shoot 5, I promise. Because that's my rule, 5 shots, 50 yards, 100 yards with the ammo, and that's all we're doing. So 100 yards, actually the grouping's got a little better. I feel like, so this one is, I feel like, I mean, this one's just under 1.5 inches. And again, just under 1.5 inches, these 3. Again, I don't know where the other 2 went, but they went somewhere. So I felt like overall, the grouping got a little better at 100 yards with this 55 grain. Now, remember, this is a 1 in 7 twist, so it should technically like the heavier ammo better. Now, this is the AAC ammo, which is Palmetto State Armory's sister company's ammo, 75 grain. And then let's have a look here. 50 yards is these here, and I did put down, I pulled this, so it's been maybe a couple weeks since I did the shooting, so I definitely marked it. When I mark it like this, I know I pulled it when I'm actually shooting, so I'm not going to count that one. 50 yards, 1.5 inches, just about 1.5 inches again, and then just over 1 inch for that, not including that one. So not terrible, not fantastic. Let's go out to the 100 yards. This is 100 yards, 100 yards, 100 yards, 100 yards, and I actually think this one is 100 yards. So let's have a look here. 1.5 inch, and then these are almost on top of each other. The widest one we have at 100 yards is going to be this one, which is under 2 inches. So it's nice to see that the groupings, you know, at 100 yards are actually pretty good. Even with the 55 grain, they were pretty tight, and so we have that one there. And then let's go to this last one. Now this is using PSA's Sabre ammo, 75 grain also. I had excellent results with LMT on this, but let's check this out and see what I got. Now the 50 yards is actually here. And you can see, I mean, this one, if you take this one out, they're clustered, all under 1 inch. And then if this one here is about 1 inch, maybe just shy over 1 inch right there for the 50 yards. And then this is the 100 yards. It looks like it opened up a little bit compared to the ammo. And I put down not my best. You know, sometimes when I was shooting, I was like, yeah, I feel like I could have done better. But this is the results. So we're just maybe 2 1/4. 1.5 inches. These 2 are almost on top of each other right here. So again, not too bad. Not my best work, I feel like, but not too bad. All right, so after all that, let's kind of go over my final thoughts. I really like Dino Defense rifles. I've, you know, reviewed a couple, shot a lot. They're just well-made AR-15s. They're just very, very very good quality, you know, top tier ARs. So they're a great brand, make excellent rifles. This that has obviously a ton of features. That completely ambi lower is sick. This rail is beautiful. I really do like the rail. A couple of things, as I said, for me, that safety, you know, a little shorter or have a cutout like the Knights do. I'm sure other companies might do it. So when I take my finger off that trigger, it just rests a little better. And I personally would like a better trigger in there. The trigger isn't bad, but for the cost of this rifle, maybe a nice two-stage trigger or a better single-stage trigger for me is my personal opinion, especially when you look at the cost of these. Again, when you're looking at, you know, a top-tier brand and you've got feature-rich, you know, it's just got everything. It's going to set you back, and this is no different. This is going to set you back at around $2,000, so it is not cheap. Is it worth it? In my opinion, I mean, for me, is it worth $2K? I think it is. Is it worth for that amount of money for you? That's totally up to you. But I think you definitely get your money's worth, and you get a fantastic firearm. So that is my final thoughts on it. If you have any questions, any comments, please ask them below. I'm always happy to help out wherever I can. And that's it. Until next time, I'll catch you later.